Alright, let's call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Any additions to the agenda?
No, other than what's shown as amended. I think that was business one, I think.
Anyone else? No additions? I'll need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll approve it.
I'll second.
Motion second's been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Minutes. Any corrections to the minutes? Alright, I will need a motion to approve the minutes for April 11th, 2017 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. April budget. Anybody have any questions on the budget?
These wages and salaries, they were for the summer help, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah, I
the
can't
numbers
help you
haven't
yet.
moved or shifted, so I just assumed that must have been summer help that we
Yeah.
had. Okay.
Alright, let's move on to capital improvement plan.
Kyle, can you provide a little update there, if any? I don't know where we stand on any of it yet.
On the CIP?
Yeah.
It's the curbing of the, Westridge Park, the park shelter, and the park trees and shrubs.
I talked with Schneider today. They got delayed, of course, from all the rain
Yeah.
that we've gotten. It sounds like by the end of the week, they should be hopefully start hauling in the Combat over into Westridge Park. I had to kinda dig some channels. I don't know if anybody's ran through there or walked through there or anything, but I took the tractor out there because it was pretty much pooling. We had a nice little pond right where we wanna put the shelter, so I had to get that away, so, yeah, hopefully by the end of the week, we get that rolling, and then, we'll have to get because Tom wants to pour the slab for the shelter and, the curbing at the same time.
Yep.
So, but once we get the Combat in, I should be able to get, who do we get the shelter? Sinclair Rec to come and put the shelter up, and then, we can, 'cause that'll have to go in, and then the concrete goes in after that gets up. So, but yeah, once that gets in and everything, we can start really rolling on that project. So, I gotta play catch up a little bit once Burton gets hired, but, him and I should be able to knock that out pretty quick.
Perfect.
When is he expected to be hired?
He's starting next Monday,
Oh,
or on Monday, yep.
okay.
So we gotta get caught up in some mowing and some, hydrant flushing and everything else, but, should be able to be going on a lot of things, so.
The trees, did you guys,
Trees, actually, that reminds me, he called me last week, he wanted to get in right after we got the rain, I told him no. But now I can, that should be coming pretty quick here as well.
So their order, we're just waiting for them to
Yep,
show
well,
up and go in?
they're ready, I think they got them, and they're ready to put them in, I just gotta give them a go-ahead.
Okay.
So, I think I gotta call in a couple locates, but,
I went with Andy?
New Germany,
Oh, Wilson's?
yes,
Okay.
yep.
Is Andy Riggert, is he planting them, or are you guys planting them?
They're gonna plant them.
Oh, Wilson's is.
Yep, Wilson's, they're doing everything,
Okay.
so.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yep, and then, just an update, I guess, they're, fertilizing and spraying the parks today and tomorrow, so. We're doing spraying for weeds, thistles, all that, and then plus we're doing, fertilizer along with it. So we're doing that, 2 rounds of that,
Perfect.
spring and fall.
Awesome.
So the park should be, we didn't do it last year, and then, year before, we had one company do it, but they kinda came with little rinky-dink carts, and they didn't really do a
Who'd
good
you
job.
hire for it?
True Green
True Green.
actually has some pretty big commercial outfits that they can
They're
knock out
great,
parks.
and they're gonna bug your phone. They're gonna call you nonstop. Hi,
Well,
this is Trudy from True Green, with a recorded message.
Nope, I deal with, they have one person,
For-
I think Tonka Bay has
Yep.
it too. They got one person handle all the commercial accounts in
Yeah,
municipalities.
they tried that and they kept screwing it up for me, so I kept getting trees. Recorded message, so. All right,
How safe is it for children to go on?
as soon as it dries, it's fine.
Takes about
Just don't let it-
30 minutes to an hour to dry.
Okay.
So, and
They
they
can-
put out signs and everything, so
They
everybody
can
should
roll
be aware.
around, just don't let them eat the grass.
Yep.
I had a
Um,
question on the capital improvement plan. Now, I know the first week that we started this year, and, I was on commission here, we had discussed a basketball court, and I didn't know where that was at. Where we're at in that process, is that part of the capital improvement plan, is it something that was already?
When we do our CIP for the next 5 years, because
Okay.
this one we already did at the end of last year, so when we do our next CIP, then we put that on there.
Okay, like I said, I just wasn't clear where that fell in there, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
the one up in Fieldstone,
Fieldstone, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
that half court, I think is
Yeah,
what
and
we were
then
doing.
we talked about a full court,
Yeah.
Okay.
depending on whether we had
If we had the
space or not.
space.
And then same thing with the Meadow Park parking lot.
Right, okay,
Bump it
that
up.
was my question.
Luann did mention that the subject has come up, so it needs to get on the plan, I agree.
All right, if there's no more questions on that, let's move on to the gantry chart.
Kyle kinda already went through it a little bit.
Right.
What's that?
Kyle already went through the first 3.
Yeah.
When are we moving the Public Works building?
Yeah, where are we at with that?
It went to planning commission, but then they canceled the planning commission meeting.
Okay,
So we gotta wait another month on it.
okay. All right.
Yeah. Bummed me out, but it is what it is.
And then the last 2 I know we're gonna be discussing tonight, so.
All right. Anybody else have any questions on the gantry chart? All right, let's move on to number 1, discussion with Mayor Lutheran High's 5K Rising Community Festival. Thank you.
Can you do us a favor and just hit that button there? Thank you.
There you go.
I'm Susan Parrish, and I'm the Director of Alumni Relations at Mayor Lutheran High. I started this last June 1st. And, we've been trying to just revive our alumni, getting them reconnected and trying to come up with different events, that we can possibly keep them connected. So this summer, we are gonna be hosting a block party. It's gonna, we're gonna have a 5K, we're gonna have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, an alumni baseball game, alumni volleyball game, family games, children's games, and our goal is to make it very family friendly, get our alumni back on campus, as well as new families, current families, and, community people as well. Basically, everybody will be invited, and, we're really excited about the possibilities of the day. And so I was talking to Joel Lansgrainer the other day, and he had mentioned that you were also planning a 5K on July 8th, which is the same day as our event. So what we're wondering is, instead of competing with one another, can we partner? Can we partner with you? And our goal is to make this not only an alumni, but like I had said, a community event as well. Not just Mayor, but surrounding communities, anybody. We have lots and lots of schools and churches that are affiliated with our school, so we have the capabilities of really reaching out to a lot of people. And about a month ago, I was talking to a gal who was willing to help me on this project, 5K, and she had proposed a color dash, and I'm sure some of you have heard about it. If you haven't, basically you You start the run off, you, put as much powder on yourself as you would like to with various colors. You run a little ways, at each station, some more powder is thrown on you, and at the finish line, more powder. And basically, people can choose however much they want, so there's no push. But this is something that I know is certainly big right now in multiple communities, and it can be a huge draw for people. So the 5K Color Dash, this one in particular, the company will come in and guide us through the day, through the entire event. We partner with them. It just certainly is designed to be a fundraiser. 50% of the profits they return back to the charity. So they are very much into helping communities and organizations be able to make some funds to be able to help with different causes. There certainly will be some expectations on our side, and I have them all listed out there with advertising. We will be in charge of doing the footwork on that, but they do provide emails. They retrieve emails from different communities. In fact, they have Alachaska right now, and they just shoot emails out to everybody for us. They partner with radios and they do press releases. Basically, they will help us with that. We do the dirty work as far as finding some of the businesses of who they can connect with and so on. But they are certainly a huge help with the advertising. And they have the capabilities of finding emails for people, which sometimes can be a challenge for us. So that's a huge thing that they offer for us. They do require participation, obviously. They encourage you to have between 500 and 1,000, a minimum of 350. And I had called them and I said, I don't know how realistic that is. It's our first year. I don't know what we're going to get. We might get 50, we might get 700. I don't know. And he said, we want to help you. They are located in Owatonna. And he said, since you are so close, we're willing to come and do it. Even if you have only 100 people, we want to help you with this. So it's not going to be as drastic. The minimum runners will not be as drastic as what is laid out in the contract. They do require us to be able to put their logos and trademarks on advertising. The marketing materials, they will as well help us with that. But again, some of that will be our responsibility. They ask that medical personnel and law enforcement be a part of the day if the city requires it. If we have to have the race crossing the street, that if the city is requiring that we would take care of that. He said if there is no need, then if the city feels there's no need for that, then we're free of that responsibility then. The water stations would as well be part of our responsibility. We'd have to have 2 water stations set up. We would be responsible for getting the water, and he said that there are some local grocery stores that would be more than happy to donate. So it shouldn't be a huge cost there. And we would also be responsible for creating the 5K route, and they would help us with that. But I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. Mrs. Grimsley, our PE teacher, already has the kids run a 5K, and I don't know exactly the details of her route, but at least we have a start there. That we have a route that we could start with. If we have to alter it, we certainly could. The start and stop could be anywhere we wanted it to be. If you would like to have it on our property, that's fine. We're willing to have the start of the race there. We can have it end there. That is totally up to us to work together and decide. And the sponsorship. That's a big thing. It does cost $3,000 to have them come in and do this. They keep all of that. It is a non-refundable charge. After the $3,000, we would receive 50% of the registration fees, and then they would also bring products to the event that could be sold, and we would receive 50% of those sales as well. So that is our responsibility. On the back, I have listed their commitment if we were to follow through and sign a contract with them.
So you have not signed a contract with them yet?
Correct.
Okay.
We have not. This has all just kind of transpired within the last few weeks, and as soon as we found out that you were hosting a 5K, we did not want to compete with you at all. And the first idea was, well, maybe this isn't meant to be. But then, why not talk to you and see if you would be willing to partner with us?
So what's the entry fee?
The entry fee for the runners, are you asking?
Yeah.
That would be totally up to us. We
Oh.
can set that. Now, they will also to handle all the payments and registrations online for us. They set that all up. So therefore, they do charge an $8.50 fee per runner to cover those costs for their setup fees and everything. After the $8.50, then that profit is split 50-50. Okay, does that make sense? So if the registration fee was, let's say, $20, and the $8.50 would come off of that right away, so there'd be approximately $11 left over. We would receive $5.75 per participant. But again, we can set those fees. They have recommendations, guidelines, but we can set that. Do you have any other questions?
We've already paid $200 for the timer,
Okay.
so, and I'm assuming that they provide their own timers.
They would provide all of that. They would provide that, they would bring a DJ on for entertainment and just to get the group pumped up for the day. So yes, those types of things they would be providing. They would also be providing T-shirts, but not be our responsibility.
So basically, you're gonna be looking for what per month?
What we would propose, if you were willing to give up to $3,000, and we could go from there, the $3,000 right off the top would be returned back to you. After that, the profits would be split 50-50.
So, what's a normal 5K registration cost?
Well, the glow run, that's gonna be in Waconia on Saturday, which is similar, $35.
So that's,
5Ks, I usually spend anywhere from, well, if it's a big event like a Team Ortho, I'll do like 50, but community events, it's about 20, 25.
yeah, so then that's 100 runners, and that's, well, no, that's for $2,500, that's 100 runners.
Minus the $8.50 per runner.
Per runner.
We've got to keep that in
So now
mind.
you're talking,
And I guess my concern is, last year we didn't have enough interest. The year before, we had 28 or 30 runners, and the year before that, we had like 40 runners. So I guess I'm just a little concerned with putting up that money with that potential loss, since we've kinda had a loss every year.
What kind of advertising?
well,
We did Facebook, we did everything throughout the community. It was on,
Herald Journal,
yep, it was on the Anderson Race Management website. It was running in the USA website. So,
we had flyers at all the businesses in town, and in the community.
we had signs up too, so.
This one we would be also, we would be targeting every community that our association schools are in. So Chaska, Hamburg, Waconia, Mayer, Cologne, all of those communities. There are 12 to 14 association churches in our association. So it'd be all those communities, those churches, those schools as well that we would be targeting. And when I had started telling him the population of Mayer, he said, "Oh, well, that is small." He said, "However, these are the communities that we would be working with." And he started adding up. He said, "So you're talking probably about targeting 40,000 people." He said it should not be a problem getting 350 runners for that. No, obviously, neither he or I can guarantee that.
Right.
But they've done 500 runs in the last 5 years. He does have an idea of prospective possibilities. And like he said too, your first year will always be your best. The following year, it will dip a little bit and then come up again after that.
You looked at any other organizations besides the
We have not. This is the one that we had jumped on right away because They're a small, family-oriented company. They're very much in family-friendly, so the music will not be an issue there. And they are
So they want an extra $850 on top of the $3,000?
correct.
What profits after that?
But it's, our 3,000 would be refundable?
No, it is not. It is not
First $3,000 comes back to us.
Comes back to us.
right.
Oh, and
First 3,000 was profit. And then the profits from there on would be split 50-50. He said that an average run will create anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. Now, the one thing too that he did stress is that sponsorship is huge as well. And to invite sponsors to be able to pay that $3,000 fee.
where is the closest color run to our area for summer?
They just, as far as the summer, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I apologize, I'm not aware of that. I know that they did, do one recently in Chaska.
It is Chaska on May 5th, Faribault May 20th, Park Rapids on the 21st, Chicago on June 1st, Des Moines June 1st, Fargo June 1st, Madison June 1st, and then
This company goes all over the country.
Right, and they're doing some, I mean, they're not in Waconia, they're not in Watertown, they're not in Hutchinson.
I mean, I agree that having two 5K runs on the same day.
Yeah, I mean, it is a
Yeah.
conflict.
Yeah, I totally
That just
agree.
wouldn't work.
No,
That
So-
might be kinda fun to try this, I don't know.
I mean, you know, we do have kind of, in my eyes, we do have kind of a running association with the school. I don't know if $3,000 is the right price for it, or if we need to talk through some other methods of splitting costs, or, you know, how to balance things off. But,
No, I kind of agree with you. I love working with the school.
Absolutely.
But I think it's just a little steep. I mean, we've got a little bit of history with it, and we've basically lost money every year. So, I don't know how that I don't know.
I think with, you know, how they've got points,
It might, no, and that's the one thing, but
I would be willing to eat our $200 cost, because our $200 that we paid is non-refundable.
okay.
Okay.
I'd be willing to eat that cost and then support you guys any way we can as a city. I just don't know if we can spend it financially. Kind of have our money kind of earmarked for some really big projects right now. So, but, I mean, if there's anything we can do to support you.
Yeah, maybe if we go for the police, you know, police trucks and that kind of stuff, maybe the city can contribute some of that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe as a group, we could possibly put a lot of things together.
Yeah.
So,
You also gotta look, that's the
The rising.
that's the car show.
so, just,
Just to show up, so the car show, so there's not gonna be any of them around.
So we can pay the time to have them block off roads.
Yeah, so you'd have to talk to Carver County about public service officers to come out. 'Cause our town cop's gonna be busy, although he could probably.
What time are you guys planning to run?
we were gonna do registration at 8 and the run start at 9.
Okay.
How much business would this potentially bring to Mayor if we are, you know, targeting the 14 communities and we're targeting maybe a different group of people that we normally would target for the festival, Mayor Rising Festival?
When I was planning this event, I intentionally went on the city's calendar to see what events were going on, and I had talked to people about the Mayor Rising Festival, and we intentionally planned it on that weekend in the hopes that if there were alumni or families that were coming into town specifically for the Mayor Rising event, that they would also then stop over at the school, and it would be, again, a partnership. So the date was planned intentionally. To be able to draw people from both areas, that people could come from the school over to your event and vice versa.
And I do believe that with the school, with the alumni, I mean, they've had, you guys have children from, or have had children from a broad spectrum, all over Minnesota and out of state even. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very good possibility that we could draw some different people and some different numbers in the town for our festival.
And that's the 8th, right?
Correct.
What if
So that's one thing you gotta look at too, I mean, holiday vacation, that would be, it'd probably be the weekend before most people would be.
4th of July.
do people come here for this Mayor Rising Festival?
Car show.
Car show's
Car
big.
show brings people in?
I don't know what numbers they had last year, but I know previous years has been like 50-some cars.
Oh, no, it's been like
Like
200? Okay, so even that way off, so.
But then,
But if that can be the same demographic? You
so
know,
my only concern is, then it rains,
But-
it rains on that Saturday, and then we're out at the weekend. So, I would have to say that it's probably a pretty steep price tag for me.
I'll share with you my perspective. First of all, I think it's a great potential partnership. And I don't know enough about the community, but, in general, or even the school, but I know that there's a very proud tradition with the school. We were talking about that earlier. I could not believe it's been around for 54 years. So it's a very big part of the community. I think at a minimum, you know, clearly the city could provide any of the in-kind services we've talked about here. And I have to believe, I agree, it's a little steep. I would like to think there'd be some other potential sponsors. You know, I don't think the city is probably would get nervous about, you know, a smaller contribution, you know, whatever it may be. But have some other parties share some of the risk.
Have you had any businesses step forward yet? Sorry, Rick.
No, not a problem.
We have not, and the reason why is because we are currently in a building campaign, and you are well aware of that, I'm sure. And the reason why we have not asked for sponsorship is because we do not want this event to distract from anyone who may currently be, or in the future, be giving to our building campaign. We do not want this to distract from that at all. So that was one reason why we did not go out asking for sponsorships, because a lot of our people that we would be targeting are supporters of the school as well, financial supporters. And we do not wanna make an impact on that possibility at all. That's not the goal of this event. We just wanna build community.
I think, you know, my experience is that if a group like this can at least get, some indication from, let's say, a host community like Mayor, that helps them procure other dollars because they see there's others with some skin in the game, so to speak. And, you know, I know you've got a county community development commission. I don't know what they do, but I mean, clearly, I think Mayor, this is one of the niches, is what I'm getting at. It's obviously every city would like to have a large industrial park in that, but that isn't meant to be in many cases. And so I think, you know, Mayor Rising is a very appropriate theme, and, you know, family-based type community, you know, all of those things that go with it. So, my advice would be that, you know, you probably indicate to the extent that you're willing to participate, and then that at least gives them some direction in terms of who they can talk to. It sounds like $3,000 is probably not in the cards, so, you know, that's always the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and what do you feel comfortable with? And, but I think it's a great concept, great. And I tell you what, I have no experience with your own 5K run, but I have to assume that's a heck of a lot of work for
Right.
a handful of people is usually the way it turns out. So, I mean, if you can partner, if you wanna continue that tradition, there's your partner right there, so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it was talked about not doing it this year, and then we decided to do it.
Yeah.
Only because we were gonna do it with the
We were gonna change the
rising-
date and
yeah,
time,
yep,
so,
so.
So 850 on top of 3.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to, we'd have to talk budget, like you said, most of that money and that 220 was earmarked
It's your mark.
for the shelter, so I just don't know if we can even do it since we've already, I don't know what other funds we would be able to,
Access.
I don't think we can swing it.
Yeah. Who would she talk to? Like, if she, yeah, I don't know, where would you,
for sponsors. Well, you'd have to hit up like Locklear Brothers or someone like that, because people in town here have been hit up too many times, you know. Small
The
town
baseball
places
club.
have been hit up way too many times. You
Well,
gotta
like
go
she
back.
said, most of them already support the school.
Yeah.
You know, you got Bob and Tom and all them are already contributing.
But, you know, like, I could see Locklear Brothers wanting to throw something on there, trying to get, you know, Miller Lite or something. I don't know if the school wants anything like that, but that's, Locklear Brothers does that quite a bit, but I don't know what they contribute, but, I mean, you have to go after someone like that.
Or see if there's any funds in the festival.
yeah, have you
Well,
talked
see,
to
the
them?
festival didn't wanna even do the 5K in the first
Okay.
place.
The
Right.
festival, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People from the
We have
festival?
not. No, this literally just came to my attention on Thursday.
Oh,
Okay.
So we
okay.
got on your agenda right away.
Right.
Okay.
absolutely.
Well,
Yes.
what
So-
I'm, go ahead.
Just, on our 5K, what is the typical cost? Just the clock? Or what other funds do we have to put forth?
Well, we do the shirts.
Okay.
We've already got the medals, we've already got all the bids and the numbers, because when you did it the first year, they sent us like 200. So we have plenty of bids and medals.
Okay.
So,
Water, granola bars, bananas.
yeah, but we usually get that donated either from, I mean,
Okay.
we get the water from, Mayor Mobile Mart, and then Mac and Toombs donates the bananas, and then, you know, we pick up stuff at Costco or whatever, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, it's that 200, we've gotten it down to where it's that $200 fee
Wow.
for the timer.
Wow. What is it, what do we typically charge to run the 5K?
20 to 25.
25.
20 for pre-registration, I believe, and 25 for same day.
If you look back, I think it says how much it cost us last year to do it.
If we did,
I thought it was like 600 total.
if we
Yeah, but
did-
that was including the shirts and
Shirts
everything,
and
so.
everything, yeah.
Okay.
we charge $20 minus the $8.50, we would need
The other thing too that we had considered is if we were not able to swing, the ability to be able to get the company to come in and do this, is to buy our own color and try to pull this off ourselves. Our
Which-
go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Our concern there is again publicity.
Correct.
Because we don't have access to emails within all of those cities. We could get access to the church families and the school families. That's not a problem. It's the community emails that would be a problem. That
And
we,
the name recognition, I mean, color run is,
Right.
everybody knows it, I feel like.
yeah, just the name itself has a tendency to draw people in to the run.
I mean, I think like you said, with all the families that go up there and, you know, the people that I know that are alumni from up there and social media, you should be able to get pretty good penetration to get enough people there. I would almost say I would go the route of trying to do it yourself, you know. I think we'd probably be interested in partnering, and I'm one person out of the group, because we've already paid for the timer.
Sure.
So at that point, we just gotta buy the color. And then, you know, advertising fees, That would be the better, in my opinion, the better way to go, and see how it goes. And if it's starting to go really good, then go and pay a good company like this to do it. But I would say jumping right off the get-go with our experience with it, I don't think I would be very comfortable doing something like that. And especially because a lot of it has to do with the weather. If it's raining, you're out all that money.
Right.
You're out all the money, so.
Runners will run in the rain, but they're not gonna get color on them in the rain.
Look at a little stiff.
The runners will run in the rain.
Yeah, unless there's lightning, then
Unless
we
there's
have to
lightning, then
postpone
usually
or
the host
cancel.
has to shut it down, but
Right.
But,
I
I mean,
hear you, I agree with you.
I definitely would like to find a way that we maybe can do something together.
Okay,
I just don't, I think Nate's maybe you're on the right track, maybe we try putting something together. I don't know if we
So
can
how
get
about-
some people together to
Discuss.
discuss and figure this out beyond this.
sure.
You know, maybe more brains than what we all have here.
Plan is for that day anyway.
So how about this, we are not gonna cancel our timer, and we'll have you kind of figure out what you guys wanna do, 'cause I know, like you said, you just found out about this, you're in the early stages. Let us know what you come up with, let us know if there's anything you can do to help. If you do decide to do this on your own, let us know, then of course we can provide the timers, and we've got them anyway.
and I do have a
And bids
route,
and everything else, yeah, and he did the route from a couple of years ago,
so, and I could talk to Joel too.
yeah, and it
Put
would,
them together.
and it won't interfere with the car show either, so.
Yeah.
No.
So-
No, our goal is that it will just help your attendance. and-
That's what I'm seeing, I mean, cars and people go together no matter where you're at.
Well, we're smart,
People always wanna
it's
rent
smart
cars.
for us to partner with you guys.
Absolutely, yeah,
I mean,
and we
it's
wanna do that, but I think you're all in agreement that the 3,000's a little steep.
Well, then we can make this happen still.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
convinced of
absolutely.
that. I
Absolutely.
don't see this as a roadblock at all. It's
No.
just a matter of sitting down and talking, what do we wanna do? Do we wanna try it on our own? Do we want a company to do it? And that's great. I love the idea that you're willing to partner with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We've basically done it on our own. The timer guy just shows up with his timer. That's it. You know, other than that, we've done everything else, so it's not terribly hard. What is it? You just basically,
You know, my husband did that the last time, click.
you just gotta throw powder on people, so I mean, I would suggest going that route.
Okay.
And then see how your turnout is, and then down the road, when you wanna take a lot of the responsibility off of anybody in your organization, then hire someone like this, if things come up. And once you get that base of runners,
Right.
then I would look into doing something like this, to
Right.
then branch out and get that extra profit from people you couldn't get to with
Sure.
advertising.
You're
So.
absolutely right.
But talk to your team and figure out what you guys
We'll
wanna
do
do
that.
and how we can help you.
That's for sure. Now, had you started the process of shirts too, or?
Not yet, we
You
usually
have not.
don't order them until after,
It's like 2 weeks before.
yeah, it's like 2-3 weeks before, because we close our online registrations, so only people who, pre-registered online are guaranteed a shirt. So
Okay.
people who register same day aren't guaranteed a shirt.
Okay.
So,
Do you
yeah.
order extras in case there are people that,
A
okay.
few, yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
a couple extra.
Okay, that's
And then
good.
some people just don't show up, so then we got the extra shirts.
Would you be willing to partner with us and help us with the shirts and getting that aspect together?
Depends on what that looks like,
I'm not necessarily talking the upfront cost, but just the help of getting that part organized. and-
Sure.
and-
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
And helping us, sending us in
Absolutely.
the right direction of where to go for the
Absolutely.
shirts.
I mean, in all reality, the cost of it is irrelevant, because that's part of
Of the fee.
the running fee. So, I mean, that's not, as far as organizing it, yeah, we can help you with that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what I was saying, I don't know if we need to have somebody that communicates with the school, with you or whoever, back and
Yeah.
forth, so that some of this can be kinda balanced out and figured out
Well, if you want
between.
me to be the point of contact, I'm not an expert on it, but I've been involved in at least one or two community races, so I mean,
And you can always forward the emails on
Yeah,
to all
and
of
then I
us.
will probably
Okay.
keep them in the loop,
Okay,
and if we need a special park board meeting, I'm sure people would be willing to.
okay.
Absolutely.
So Ricky will be my
Yeah,
point
for now.
person then.
And
Okay.
if things get going good, then we could just set up a committee, you know, and if it's
5K
Liz that meets with, you know,
For now, and I'll
or whoever it is.
This isn't necessarily a runner's body, but.
I try.
Sounds good.
It's not like this is either, so.
Absolutely then.
Oh,
That's
stop.
going in the minutes. Nate says he has a runner.
I'm looking for that next one.
Are you saying that you're not going to run?
Your wife will.
I ran a mile on Sunday, and then I rode bike 10 miles, and then I came back and ran another mile.
Wow,
Sunday
well
night.
then we could do like a
Yeah, I can
10K
do
for
that.
you.
Good.
Triathlon.
But,
Okay, great.
I'll run it.
Thinking about them, yeah.
I'll definitely run
and
it.
since, I mean, this year it might work out where we could have a few firefighters to help, because it's an off year, with the 4th of July, it's not.
Right on there.
Yeah,
Not on
so
the
it's an
weekend,
off year with a lot of the other stuff that's going on around. So we might have a few firefighters that could help block off the roads,
Okay,
but, you know, we've done all that before, and I've got a few volunteers that help with that, but the problem is the car show takes a lot of the in-town volunteers.
that makes perfect sense.
But with the Carver County, and we've kinda got a pretty good system on how they usually will be able to beat the lead runner to the next major crossing,
Okay,
to make it work, so.
okay.
So, yeah, just stay in communication with Rick and he'll keep us all updated and
I will do that.
if you guys want a special committee or if you need one of us that on one of your committees, whatever,
That sounds great.
reach out and let us know.
Good, good. Well, thank you so much for being willing to listen to our vision, and I
It's a
just
great
really
one.
appreciate being here.
Yeah,
Thank you. Well, we will stay in touch then.
great.
Thank
Is your
you.
block party gonna be after, like, all day, basically, you're
It
gonna have
will.
the event? That's perfect, 'cause they needed something for after the car show.
Right.
What time does the
They
car
really did.
show end?
Everyone's usually gone by
Two, right as,
2, 3
right
o'clock,
as
and
they do
then
the drawing.
it's dead.
Yep, then
Yeah.
everybody heads out.
We're gonna be going until at least 3 o'clock, possibly later depending on on
In
our
the morning?
grant.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Bring your chair.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's Mary Lutheran,
right by. We'll bring the party, we'll bring the party.
I was gonna say, it's Mary Lutheran, but we use music at all times of the day.
Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your willingness.
Appreciate yours too. Thank
Yeah.
you.
It'll be fun, Rick. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
good night.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, number 2, further discussion on park shelter / restrooms.
You wanna talk about that, Kyle?
Do I wanna do it?
So
You
I
can probably
saw,
explain it a whole lot easier than I can.
Did we get, is that,
We got the 2 photos
is it in here?
at the end of the
I
packet.
saw a mistake on it,
A mistake?
yeah.
Kinda mistake.
That is a huge building.
See, I thought it was narrow.
Yeah, it is. So, I don't know how I should start this.
Okay, I'll start it then. All right, so, here's the concern. We're concerned about the amount of money that city council may approve. So, he came up with a couple different ideas. One is, of course, option 1, having the one building. And the second one is option 2, where we have 2 separate buildings. So we can do the shelter first, and then the restroom later, to divide up the cost, to get
And,
council a little bit more on board with doing shelter and bathrooms, and, 'cause we all know that city council has said it's a lot of money.
and what we did when we met with the architect, we have plans for this current bathroom, this little footprint that he put here, we have the plans for this bathroom. So that's kinda what he was going off of, those plans, and adding a park shelter off it.
Is this the same basic plan that was designed for down by the ball field?
Yeah.
Yep, it's the same one.
Okay.
I got the prints in by the mailbox,
Now,
but-
if we don't incorporate this, is that something council's gonna look at, or while if we have this plan down by the ball field, why are we putting it by the ball field?
Because it makes more sense having it up here.
I agree, but I don't know if they're gonna agree.
They agreed to this location
Okay,
for a park shelter and a bathroom.
perfect.
Yep.
That's what I need to hear.
As one, well, my interpretation, okay, they agreed to have it up here, the picnic shelter with the bathroom. I don't know if it's gonna change things if they now become two different buildings.
Right, and that's what I guess that's where I was leaning towards. If
So,
we separate
It
them,
may change
is
things,
that,
it
I
may
think,
not.
you know, they're gonna go, well,
I think we need to know the price though, right?
Well,
Have
that's
that price?
the price of this bathroom when we sent it out for bids, 3 years ago when I started was $220,000, and then we got one bid on it.
Mhm.
And that's just for the bathroom. So then, when Liz and I were meeting, it's like, no way that's ever gonna happen if we do it like that. So, then pretty much, my idea was, you gotta come with pretty much 3 different options. And the architect kinda had better lingo for this than what I'm gonna say, but if you can have them do either if you wanna do the shelter, and then do the bathroom separate, do it separate, then you can do this year, and then a couple years down the road, then you can do the bathroom, or whatever. Or you can make it as one big project, and have them bid everything, and then, okay, here's your options, you got 3 options here, this, and this. And then hopefully, something will happen, but, yeah, it's just, it's a lot of money for what it is.
for a bathroom. And
Right.
the other thing that I've been concerned with is, as you look at this picture, now that this building is on here, we have a lot of landscape and a lot of other things that need to go into that.
Yep, landscaping,
Okay, but hang on.
road, and, yeah, another,
That bathroom is huge.
yeah,
Right,
it's,
that's the size of this room.
And we talked about that and losing,
Yes,
losing
that
one
bathroom's
stall.
the size of this room.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
is bigger.
it's, yeah.
That's
Maybe
ridiculous.
What is it, 24 by,
26 by 28?
Yeah.
So, I thought we were doing basically a 30 by 60 building, and the bathrooms were gonna be
in it?
20 feet inside of it.
Okay. That's what I was wondering at the meeting.
But in order to get to feed 100 people,
We weren't going for 100, we were going for 70.
That's what I
going
had
for
thought.
70?
Yeah,
thought we
so,
were going for
I mean,
100.
let's look at it this way. How many people can you get inside this room?
49.
Wow, Mike, you're good.
I knew he read it somewhere.
I bet we could get more, but I think that's fire.
Yeah, you would know.
So why don't we have them bid, so how big exactly do you want that shelter? Because I know Luann looked at her notes and I can't find mine.
So that's kind of, the lingo got kind of mixed up, I think, when you wanted a 40 by 64 park shelter. That was just the shelter, is what Luann assumed, just the shelter. The bathrooms
The 40 by 64.
weren't included in that, yeah. So the bathrooms are additional, is how Luann
Oh,
remembered
goodness,
it.
if you had 40 by 64, you could take the end, however many
Yeah.
feet, and put, I mean, even if there's 2 to 3 stalls in each one,
Right.
I mean, I think
You don't
that
even
would
need,
be
yeah.
more than suitable.
Well, and right now we have in the men's room, it's two stalls, 2 urinals, and in the women's it's 3.
So,
And we asked him, what if you took out one of those stalls? And he says it's only like $7,000-8,000.
Lobsters out and file it away.
It was only $7,000-8,000
Okay.
per stall.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it wasn't
Okay.
much.
so it wasn't a huge,
No.
it's like when you're looking at $130,000, okay, 7,000 for an extra stall.
But
which
that's each stall, so if you put an extra one in the women's and an extra one in the men's, now you got 14.
the way
Now
it's,
you're looking, that's significant, in my mind.
well, yeah, I mean, to me it is too, but I'm trying to just envision what city council would say, and they say, well, if we're planning for growth,
Right.
why aren't we just doing the
Okay.
2 stalls, 2 urinals instead of 1 stall and 2?
well, yeah, that's what we figured. So the men's bathroom was gonna get 2 urinals and 1 stall, and the women's was gonna get 2 stalls, right? Or was it 2?
2.
It was 2 and 2, 1 urinal and 1
Yeah.
ba-
But the
one
way that
stall.
the bathrooms are designed for down there, it's 2 urinals, 2 stalls for men, and 3 stalls for women.
Yeah, 'cause, well, 1 stall has to be handicapped,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
yeah, so you can fit,
So I guess what we need to know is exactly what size park shelter, including the bathroom, are we looking at?
And then we'll probably need to meet with the architect again.
Yeah.
Can the architect ever come to this meeting?
He couldn't make it to this meeting,
Okay.
that's why Liz and I met with him on,
Okay.
was it last Monday?
Yeah.
Monday before.
So, 'cause the bathrooms really only need to be 14 feet.
We go measure the bathrooms.
I was saying, what are
hallway.
these bathrooms here?
Well, you figure,
Yeah.
so the handicaps are 4 foot by 6 foot, is handicap stall.
Okay.
And then every little one is 3 foot wide stall. So if you're putting 3 stalls,
Well, it's not every wider than 3 feet.
no, the standard ones that you go in are only 3 feet.
Trust me, they're not big.
Okay. 3 feet just seems awful narrow when I think about it.
They are narrow.
Yeah, but you normally go to the handicap
No,
stall,
I-
don't you?
I- oh,
Cause I normally do.
You know, this is a physical table.
Okay, so here we are. 24 by 64 picnic shelter. But it doesn't say anything about a bathroom.
So 24 feet is from this wall to the first side of that light that's on that one row, that single light. So from this wall to the light is 24 feet.
So basically to that wall.
No,
That's what.
no, it's to this light.
So that's-
Yeah, the only light that's
Yeah.
on, right to this side of it, not
Yeah.
the other side.
I see.
It's 24 feet. So,
You could just make it even, just do a 30 by 70 shelter.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry, then we don't have to worry about 64, is it 64 or
Right,
62?
yeah.
Numbers make more sense.
so
Yeah.
if we do a 30,
The old public
so
works
it's
building
basically,
is 30 by 60.
yeah, so that's
So-
basically the size of this room. So the park shelter would be as wide as this room,
Okay?
and then it would be 2 of this room long. So, that would be the way, because the bathroom doesn't really need to be that big. You could get away with taking 20 feet of that building, closing it off for the bathroom.
But don't forget, we have to have that walkway in there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's plenty of length to put the walkway in the center, and the storage room for all
So
your
we're
cleaning.
talking 30 by 70 and that includes the bathrooms.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's gotta have a utility room is basically what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
that's what this one had, a nice hallway with all the plumbing fixtures and everything.
Yeah, so it'd be split,
Right. Right.
because 3 stalls, yeah, so that's only really 10 feet that you really need. I mean, you don't even have to be 20 feet.
It doesn't seem to be that big.
I guess
Yeah,
that'd be,
that 30 seems really big to me.
I mean, this seems really wide.
Well, we can just talk to the architect and be like, okay, we want a bathroom, but we don't want a huge bathroom. We
Right.
wanna use as much, the space to be as functional as possible for a bathroom and more so a shelter. So, I mean, he'll be able to,
yeah, so basically 3
Right.
stalls. The women's has 3
How-
stalls, the
yeah.
men's has 1 handicapped, and then 2 urinals.
okay.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, this is.
and a baby changing table in each one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk,
So,
They're
I
pretty
know there's-
minimal
There's rules with that, though.
right, so he said, well, right now it's kind of out in the or where you wash your hands and stuff, he has it one, and then he said a lot of communities actually put one in the handicap
I was
stall.
gonna say, in the handicap stall,
Yeah,
that's
so you
why
get
I
all the
said-
privacy, but then it kinda ties up the handicap stall, so then you gotta, you know,
But
there's-
people wait for the bathroom.
yeah, it's
That'll be
just,
fine.
yep,
Anyway,
so-
that's just what the architect
And I've seen
said,
it both
so.
ways. I've seen them in the handicap stall, I've seen them by the dryer, so I don't care.
Put it by the handicap stall.
I mean, I honestly think 70 might be a little big. Maybe we could drop it down to 60 and still be fine.
Yeah, that'd be the size of the,
architect would know
public works
what we
building.
should do.
What's that?
and he will, we just need to give him the guidelines.
Yeah, but is our target number 100 or is it 70?
I thought we were doing 70, but I don't remember.
I
mean, that-
thought I
that-
remembered 100, but now I'm questioning myself.
I'm just saying, I think that's what we need to target right now, is what demographic are we looking to
I had
reach?
it written down. I think
Numbers
we had
wise.
50 to 75 or 75 to 100.
Let's just put it at 75 then.
Yeah.
For the shelter.
I mean, you might think it might,
Yep, 75 people for the shelter,
yeah.
That's a good size, I mean, that's
and,
a lot of room.
and ask him how big the bathrooms need to be for just 3 stalls, and a changing table, 'cause I know that there was restrictions on that, and then,
Yep.
you know,
I'm thinking we target 50 to 75.
because if the actual shelter part is 40 by 40 by 30. That's a pretty good sized shelter.
That's a really good, I mean,
That's a really good sized shelter.
Okay, so 3 stalls in the women, 2 urinals in a stall in the men's, changing tables in the handicap stall. How big do the bathrooms need to be to accommodate that? And how big does this shelter and bathroom need for approximately 50 to 75 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
anything we're missing?
Rick, what have you seen here?
Well, there's no question the bathroom is critical, because in Le Sueur, we put up a shelter first, and right away the complaint was, well, where's the bathrooms? And we did have the Lions come forward and build it, but you don't wanna assume that. I tell you what, I think the direction you're going is right, because if it became that darn popular, you could always put another shelter in, but you'd have bathroom facilities on site already, so I've got a barn that's 40 by 30, and there's a hell of a lot of space in terms of the shelter part, so, and really, if it's a terrible day, that's gonna cut down on the population anyway. A lot of time is spent outside of the shelter, and you're there primarily if a little squall comes through, or the sun, or whatever. So, if you have a nice day, you still got plenty of room. Not everybody's gonna choose to be under the shelter. You're playing bocce
That's a
ball or
good point.
doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, you just basically.
And I tell you what, a serving area,
Yeah, we've got that in our plan.
access to water, and a sink and some of that, but,
Yeah, we weren't gonna do the water and sink, we were gonna do serving area with a bunch of
yep.
outlets.
Stainless table with all that, right?
Yeah,
You mentioned concrete would be better.
yeah, he said
Oh.
concrete would be a lot better. So,
I think, again, this might be an example where smaller will be fairly successful, I think.
So it might be worth going down to
Always
that
gonna be the
24 foot.
bathrooms, I think.
Might be worth
Yeah.
going down to that 24 foot, 'cause 30, that
Cause
is,
that's 2 rows of picnic tables.
that is
Yeah, you've gotta
really
factor
wide.
in the
yeah.
standard picnic tables.
Yeah.
Right.
Standard
24
is
is what
8
we're
to
looking
10.
for.
So if you go 24, you got 16 feet of it side by side taken up by picnic tables. It still gives you a decent aisle down the center and around the outside. I mean, if
Yeah.
you go to 24.
24 by 70?
No, like 24 by 60 something.
I say 24 by 60.
Yeah. Know whether the bathroom will fit in that for sure or not. I mean,
It should. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't.
right.
I mean, I've been to plenty of
But the architect will know
parks.
more of that
Uh,
than what,
'Cause that, I mean, if we can end up with like a 24 by 44, 24 by 44, even a 24 by 40 shelter, I mean, that's
that's a lot of
doable,
area.
yeah. Okay, all right. So who's gonna, do you contact the architect?
Well, we
or do you?
will at the staff level, and then.
Yeah, either Rick or
I think you need to get him or her here, so everybody's on the same page when you go back to the council.
Right. And, in their interim, hopefully we can get them to maybe draw something up for us.
I think to accommodate 100 people underneath the shelter is a lot,
yeah.
Especially
Right.
for the 50 to 75.
What was the final size we said?
24 by 60,
Yeah.
24 by 60?
Yep.
unless they...
Yeah,
Not,
those-
not
unless-
30 by 60?
Huh?
Well, I mean, if those numbers 24 by 60 were, I mean, if you go
We could-
30, now you're looking at 3 rows of
Well,
picnic tables.
Yeah, I think 24 is good, but 60, 64, whatever he thinks would be the best.
What,
There.
26? 'Cause he has,
One he's got 26.
he has
and the other he's
26
got
for the
24.
current, so then if he...
Well, that's what I'm wondering,
That's
he's got
probably
the
a
26 by 92.
Yeah, that's probably a magic number for him, then he can just take, and kind of
I'd
shrink it.
keep the 26 and just
Yep, so
Shorten it up.
26
Yep.
by 60.
Yeah.
that's including restroom.
included.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, do you just wanna do that, or do you wanna bathroom and separate them?
I don't think we wanna separate them.
No.
Okay.
I think you wanna do it as one.
Great.
Tell me we want the bathrooms as small as possible for the 3 stalls per, and, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we need to go fancy dancy with full exposed aggregate rock, brick all the way up and,
And we
Concrete.
talked about that.
I mean, I'm more of a fan of just doing the 2x4 walls and then put.
Whole barn style,
Shiplap
or
and
Put the
paint it?
nice concrete siding on it, the LP Smart siding, and then stone up a little bit.
I kinda talked to him a little bit about it, and it's kind of either you pay for the labor or you pay for the material. So it's kind of a wash when you get to the stick building, because then you gotta insulate it, you gotta insulate a block building anyway, but then you don't, the inside's already done with the block building, all you gotta do is paint it, and then you wash it down, it's waterproof, everything's ready to go. Outside, instead of the, like what we got on the well house, and, what is that, textured block, just doing a flat painted block, would probably be the cheapest and easiest way to go. So cause I kinda mentioned the stick building, and it's kind of, either you pay for the material or you pay for the labor.
We
So-
do want it to match the other ones in town, everything else
Right.
in town, so he's gonna do the same roof as what's on everything else.
I mean-
He's got the color and all that,
I mean, yeah, stick building, I mean, it'll stand as long, it's just like a house, but,
yeah.
are they
I mean, a
asphalt
block building is,
shingled roof?
never have to do anything with
Timberline,
that.
yeah.
Shingled roof, yeah.
We asked for 50-year shingles.
I told him, yeah, give me some nice not like my shed with the stupid 3-tab shingles on it. But
It's like steel.
yeah.
I like the look of steel, it's like steel, so.
And I guess there is a point of safety with that, there's a storm shelter.
Right, it'd be a solid building and it'd be there forever.
Right.
So maybe just spec
Yeah, I
it that
could
way,
see-
and
I could see
then-
thered be some savings by going with the block and not having, yeah, I could see
It was
that.
kinda when we were talking about possibility of building a public works building back, a while back, that was kinda the same situation we ran into. A tip-up building, more money, but it's up in 2 days. And it's, the R value of it and everything else is just astronomical compared to what a stick building would be, so.
Things like a park shelter, restrooms really take a beating.
Yeah,
And it's kinda difficult to put cameras in a bathroom, so
right,
you've gotta be prepared to maybe take a fire hose in there at times.
yep.
Absolutely.
Fire hose, and I'm gonna already want that, sink and everything ready to go, pressure washer in there, and I'm
Pressure
hose
washer,
everything
yep,
down,
yep.
up and down, and
That's,
walk away, let it dry.
Yeah, you've gotta be prepared to do that.
Yep,
They got special mirrors, so,
Yep.
yep,
yeah,
special,
we've got all that.
yep,
We've talked about all that.
so they don't shatter and
Good.
that kinda thing, so.
Alright, let's go that route, you guys gonna have an idea what to tell the architect?
Yep.
And then let's see if he can be at the next meeting,
Yeah.
get this hammered out.
Yeah,
I think approaching it from how many people you want there is
right,
the way to go, and I tell you what, I was in the fire department for 20 years, and we'd have our summer picnic, and that was 24 firefighters plus spouses and kids, and we did fine with something
Yeah,
about this size, so.
perfect, yeah.
You can always build another one
If it's that popular.
Right,
right.
Absolutely.
and on the other
I
end.
We
mean,
might not
we do
want
have-
you after this process.
But at least you got the bathroom addressed.
Yeah.
We've been talking, what, since 2008 years?
Two
A
that-
long
yep.
time,
Yep,
so.
Get that
yeah, we
over.
could be working on the next project if this was already done. But, and then I would just wanna bring up what Mike brought up too, I mean, we'll get the shelter up, but yeah, road paving and landscaping is something that would have to be done probably
Yeah, that's
almost
something we
at
haven't
exactly the
discussed
same
or
time.
Talked about any of that.
Right, so maybe once we get going, then that'll be the next step,
Right.
you know, to kinda
Path
discuss
coming
that.
in, like you said, it maybe
Right, otherwise
halfway
people are,
up.
if we just threw it up right now, people park all around it.
Yep.
It's chaos, so. Something to keep in the back of your head.
Perfect.
Alright. Number 3, 2018 park board budget.
You know,
Where was that?
Do we have anything on
I
that?
didn't see that.
no, it's, so, I would suggest you've got plenty of time to work on this, in my opinion. Maybe staff could make some recommendations, and then you could respond to it. If there's anything you know presently that you wanna address, you can provide, at least give us some direction on that.
You know, we used to have on there donations to civic organizations, 'cause we used to give money to the Watertown Mayor Community. Thank you.
No,
And now I've noticed the last couple of years, we haven't had anything on there. And in light of, having this lady come and talk to us about the color dash, I wouldn't mind seeing
Yeah, I think
something in there where we
you wanna
can
be
make a
prepared to do
donation to a
partnerships
community.
when it's Park
Yeah.
and Rec.
So I'd like to see something in there
Okay.
about that, even if it's, $1,000. I
Right,
know
just-
we've had 2,000 in there in the past.
Yeah.
Just to have a line
But just
the
to-
line item's there, but have some numbers in that
Yeah,
line item.
just in case. And I think one of the reasons we took it out is because I think we had 2,000 in there, and I think we just never ever used it. So we just eventually took it out.
Maybe we
What
should-
line,
we
what
need to
line item
start-
is that, Lou?
That's, $490, donation
yeah.
to civic organizations.
Donations, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
If
something.
we get a Lions Club here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I read your Facebook, yeah.
And then our new equipment one for 2018 shouldn't be so big, should it? Since we're getting a new mower and everything?
No, and actually, we didn't even put that in there for the new mower for this year, we just put it in roads, so
Okay.
it's,
Okay.
Are we gonna need
It's
any
everybody's
new
money.
equipment for 2018 that you can foresee?
possibly a new ball field groomer,
Which
Um,
is approximately
$2,000, $3,000, something like that.
new?
Yep.
Are you able to get them used?
Nah,
People
they look
don't
like,
get rid of
they
them.
look like the one I got if I think I got one used, but.
I got a couple of hustlers for sale.
I
We could come back with something, and if anybody has any ideas between now and the next meeting, I mean, just ship us an email and we can
Um,
give it consideration.
now, is the Mayor Lutheran grant or fund or whatever they got from the Minnesota Twins for their ball field, how is that gonna affect them playing here? Anybody have any idea?
Doesn't affect them,
Should've.
They'll still keep playing here then?
my understanding.
Okay, hang
This
on,
is
what,
JV.
Then-
what did you,
Oh, okay,
This is not varsity. JV plays down here.
gotcha, I didn't know that, okay.
okay.
And so I went to one of them yesterday, and they don't do concessions down here, or do they?
The JV games?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I don't
What other
typically think-
ball games are played down here, you think?
Well, that's the question.
Just-
Depends on who you ask. If you ask somebody, there's games every day. But,
Yeah.
if you go through the parks ever, there's never anybody playing on them except for there's the occasional team practice on the other two.
Yeah, that's
And,
what I was kinda wondering,
But,
and I'm curious.
Mary Lutheran has, I think, 2 teams that play down there. I think the
There was
younger
some-
team
There was
uses,
somebody down there yesterday, yeah.
yeah, the younger team uses,
There, yeah.
field 2, and then the JV team uses field 1. But
So-
yeah, the other 2 fields.
So
are
then the-
you positive that we cannot do fences?
Yep.
You are? 'Cause it
I've,
sure
I've
looks
measured
like
them,
you
I've
can.
measured them twice, Nate.
It sure looks like
I've
you can.
measured them twice.
I'll trust you, but it looks like you
Cause
can
we
do
want,
fences.
we wanted,
Fences where?
On both those two.
we wanted them
Back field.
300 feet, right? Is
No,
what-
we were like 275.
280. Well, the one side, the path is 240, and then once we get,
Can we put up a giant wall?
yeah, that's
Oh, we
it,
moved
that's,
the
so
fence.
you gotta put up like a 12-foot fence if
Okay,
you don't want home
so the
runs.
path is the way on the one, so how far is the pond in on the other one?
I don't even think it's the pond, I think it's the hill coming up, I think was another issue.
So if we cut the hill out, we can make it work.
Sure.
Put
I'm
up a
just saying,
green
so-
wall.
I can measure it out again, and you can come out there with me, and you can look.
I'm just saying, so we can regrade that.
I think
and then
265
we probably
pops
should be
in my
talking about
mind.
this in a different area, but we'll move on, we'll talk about that later.
But, so I guess my question is, so we built the concession stand, or how many years ago did we do that?
Oh, a long time. I don't even remember.
It's at least 10.
Oh, but we're not using it, right?
Nope.
Okay. Just making
I've
that
seen
clear,
it used
'cause I was
once.
confused. I was excited to go to a ball game last night to get concessions, and I got there and there were no concessions. All I got.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Sore subject.
All
I've
right.
noted the donation line item, and I would suspect capital, that's where we'll spend most of the time on, and appreciate the fact that there's no sense, you don't wanna overpad these budgets, I mean, there's plenty of places to spend the money,
Mhm.
so.
All right,
And then we'll come back with some recommendations, and
perfect, thank you. Next meeting date, June 13th, 2017. Is that right with everybody?
Yep.
Commissioners' reports.
I guess the only thing I have is that, movie night had about 30 people,
Nice.
That's awesome.
so it was a good movie.
What did we play? Lorax? Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep, so, good turnout. Zach did the setup and the takedown, it turned out really good.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you to Zach for doing that too.
Well, yeah, if I would've had to set it up or take it down.
You just
it
had to
probably
push
would've
buttons.
been- I did. I did, 'cause if I would've had to put it up, I'd just, sorry kids, no movie tonight.
Any, staff reports?
I have nothing.
I guess the only thing for mine is it would just be lower one of the swings at that one park. That's all
And
I
did
have.
you order soccer nets?
They're up.
I must've just
Yep.
blocked them out of my sight, okay.
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah, we got them through Amazon, we got a good deal, and Luann and I both thought that we had to order two. Well, it came as a set, so now we're set for at least 4 years, so.
Good.
Good deal.
Okay. Need a motion, Bill?
Any update on the adopted trail? Did we hear anything about that?
You were supposed to clean it last week, you didn't do that?
Oh, I was at letter A, but you guys must have been at G? Tricked me. Okay.
I don't think there
know.
was,
I thought I heard. It's the first I've heard of it, so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, she was gonna call them, and they said they have some spots open.
D, I think is one that we requested.
D or E or something, I don't remember what it was.
Did she send something out, saying that
She did, I'm trying to look at it.
Did she?
I missed it.
we did get D?
Oh, okay, oops, sorry. My fault.
I know she sent out an email, I just don't remember exactly what it said.
I didn't recall seeing that.
I had talked to the county too to try to get the next section for the Boy Scouts, and they already gave that up, so we couldn't get it, but,
You can help us.
yeah, they will.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
Says, "Hi Luann, thanks for sending in your application so promptly. We typically are not able to reassign groups to new trail sections, because remember we wanted something closer. I'm submitting your application for approval and signage on section D. Now, whether that means we've been approved or not, I don't know.
Okay.
Is there any way for you to follow up?
Yeah, I'm gonna, what's the date on that? Every time
April
I
12th.
grab my wife's Samsung, I destroy it, so.
It was sent April 12th.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
Okay. Jessica Fenn is her name,
Okay.
so, okay.
Anything else? Then I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and second, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes, we are adjourned.